views expressed on the following program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership.
Phoenix, this is Brother Mike, and I'm back on the radio. Welcome to HardcoreChristianity.com. Welcome to the Bible study. Teen perversion is now in vogue. Welcome to Filthy Fridays on Hardcore. God bless you. Holiday season is mercifully over, and you're back to your Christian life. And I hope to God you are not back to your 2017 Christian life. Come on, we got to step this thing up. We got to crank this thing. This is Brother Mike. I am the professional counselor at the Arizona Deliverance Center. We're in Central Phoenix on 50th Avenue, just south of Osborne Road. The website, hardcorechristianity.com, has all of our ministry services there, as you know. You can go there and sign up for our next free seminar at the end of January. That would be great. You can sign up for one of our Facebook pages. We've got Hardcore Christianity and Blessing page. You can come to one of our services. Thursday night, we have live services at 7 p.m. Same for Friday. Preaching, teaching, healing, and deliverance at all of those services. If you go to the website, please remember to hit the PayPal button and send us another donation. You've been sending donations in for 15 years and very much appreciate it. We have always paid our bills, always paid them on time, thanks to you. Thank you for your help, and thank you for the referrals you sent to Sister Karen to sell their homes. That was great. She's on the homepage of the website. God bless you for that. Teen perversion is in vogue on Filthy Fridays on Hardcore. Here's the article, quote, a prominent internet safety activist is urging parents to keep the pressure on Teen Vogue magazine as its latest issue pushes obscenity even further despite the backlash it received over its anal sex instruction guide article that was published earlier this year. By the way, I did a radio show on that article. It was literally unbelievable that you would be giving detailed instructions of the joy of anal sex to children that are in junior high or middle school. This is Teen Vogue magazine. It's read by kids and teenagers. Quote, a movement to protect children from dangers in the digital world underway with major figures like Pope Francis behind such efforts. I'm not sure that's going to help. On December 8th, Teen Vogue magazine published a piece entitled Vibrator Pulsates to the Beat of Christmas Music under the banner of, quote, sexual health and identity, promoting a vibrator that allows users to download through a phone app vibration patterns that buzz to the tune of holiday songs for sexual stimulation. With the vibrator's 6 motors, you'll really feel the ringing of the carol of the bells, the article reads. While you can download and try the Christmas patterns this holiday season, you can easily swap them out for another pattern once the Christmas spirit wears off. But who knows, you might find that Jingle Bells really does it for you, unquote. That's in the article. That's part of the article. Can you believe that? To middle schoolers, junior high, teenagers, read that article. That's what the magazine is put out for. It's not for adults. The article says, in August, the magazine published an article encouraging its young audience to put condoms, sex toys, and lubricants on their back-to-school lists. These more recent articles have been in spite of the backlash the magazine received from thousands of people over a July 7th article giving preteens and teenagers instructions on how to have anal sex. Well, as I mentioned in that radio program I did, the publisher of this magazine is homosexual, so what he wants to do is push his agenda, and he wants everybody to be either homosexual or bisexual. Donna Rice Hughes, president of Internet Safety Organization Enough is Enough, said in an interview Monday with the Christian Post that parents need to be aware of how dramatically the publication has changed in just a few years. Quote, most parents and grandparents, of which I'm one, believe that Teen Vogue are good and decent publications, but Teen Vogue has been pandering filth, mixing it with otherwise palatable content, Hughes said. Can you imagine that? Teen Vogue recently hosted a summit for young women leaders, proctored by former Secretary of State and Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton, of course. But the magazine is a, quote, Trojan horse pushing extreme LGBT agenda onto teen boys and girls that robs them of their innocence, Hughes said. She finds it highly questionable for a magazine to promote any kind of sexual activity among teenagers, especially the act the CDC says poses the greatest risk for transmitting AIDS virus. That is, what she's talking about there is anal intercourse. The anus is not designed for intercourse by God. The vagina is. The vagina is not designed to trap and catch. The anus is. So if you have anal intercourse with someone who has the AIDS virus or HIV, the probability of transfer is higher through anal intercourse than vaginal intercourse because the rectum is designed to provide retention services. Here's the kicker, though. The parent company of Teen Vogue is a company called Condé Nast. And that is a LGBT group, and that's their platform. So what they're doing is they're using Teen Vogue magazine to promulgate their homosexual agenda and their concept of normal sexual activity, which the Bible considers to be sexual perversion. In the book of Leviticus, in Romans chapter 1, in the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, the concept of homosexuality is always shared in a negative light. There's never a place in the Bible where homosexuality is considered a positive benefit. It's always considered to be a negative or a sinful behavior. In the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, you had a series of bisexual perverts in that story. The males had come to Lot's house to get their hands on the angels. My guess is because the angels looked human, but they looked to be very attractive humans. If I know the Lord and the way He creates things, my guess is that angels are very attractive, well-built, well-designed, beautiful or gorgeous or something like that. Use your own adjective. Maybe I don't have the adjectives right, but whatever they are, they're good-looking. So the men of Sodom saw these guys walking down the street to Lot's house, and they said, "Hey, there's a couple of hot guys. Let's go rape them." I mean, this isn't even a situation where you're trying to pick somebody up at a bar. This town was so full of sexual perversion and violence and mental illness that they saw two strangers walking down the street, and a bunch of guys got together to go over there and rape them. They weren't going there to party. They weren't socially appropriate. They were raping them. And Lot, who had been systematically desensitized, he was also so used to sexual perversion, to him it was like nothing. This idiot walks out on the porch, and the moron says, "Listen, you can't rape two messengers from God. These are angels. What are you, nuts? Here, take my two virgin daughters." My question is, Lot, are you nuts? What are you, crazy? What are you thinking? You're going to hand your two daughters, who are virgins, over to a crowd of men for a gang raping? And Lot had lost his mind. There was no question. The guy was completely insane. Finally, the angels go, hey, we got to shut this insanity down. So they blind the group. They were all groping around. They couldn't see anything. Well, that was a good strategic move. As you read the story, it was fantastic. Well, anyway, you know the story. They got him out of town. But what's the bottom line here? What in the heck's going on here? Bisexuality and rape and violence and sexual perversion in Sodom and Gomorrah had gotten so bad that after Lot got out of town, I think what happened was a meteor or something, an asteroid, something, came out of the sky on fire and landed right in the middle of those two towns and decimated everything. Everybody there died. And Lot, of course, took his perversion to another city. And you can see in the story that Teen Vogue would have looked at that story and said, hey, wait a minute, no, they weren't. They would have made excuses for the behavior. But there is no excuse for what Paul told Timothy. He said, evil men and seducers, they will wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. Jesus said, when I come back, the parousia, when I come again for the second coming and I take over the planet, when I come back, it will be as in the days of Noah. It will be as in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah, where total perversion, sexual immorality, witchcraft, sorcery, everything is running amok. And that's what we're going to be staring at in our society, even here in America, as we head toward the tribulation and the rapture. This thing's getting ready to close down, and it won't last much longer. And in 2018, you cannot live a 2017 Christian life. You have got to turn this thing around now. The perverts are coming. The mentally ill are coming. The demon-possessed are coming. They're going to take over, folks, and we must fight back. We must do what's right, and you must do what's right in 2018. Teen Vogue is only the tip of the iceberg of where this thing's going. It's going to be blatant perversion, public perversion, as in Sodom and Gomorrah, like Las Vegas and New Orleans and San Francisco. We are headed for the gates of hell.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership. This program was sponsored by Michael W. Smith.